Yo, what's going on, my VVOGs, my Omi homies, my fellow master collectors, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your bromy, the Gale, back at it again with another VV video. Ooh, welcome back, my VV fam. So, it's been about a week and some days since the Amazing Fantasy NFT comic drop on Veve, and OMG guys, it's dumping hard. It is dumping hard. So in this video, I want to talk about, I want to take a look at the situation and talk about it. But before we do all of that, I want you guys to hear from a comic collector who's been collecting for the past 30 years. I want you to hear his take on comics on Veve real quick, just to set the stage. And then after that, we'll get into my thoughts and we'll get into the Amazing Fantasy situation. So without any ado, let's breeze into it.
Yeah, I've been seeing quite a few of y'all that I recognize on Twitter, and I kind of just happened upon the space, and I said, well, they're talking about comics, so I'll join in. And I kind of heard what you were talking about, and I was a big-time physical Silver Age Marvel dealer back in the day, and I know quite a bit as far as storage, insurance, and all the I don't know, the aggravation that goes along with actually collecting physical comics. I love it. I love the way that they smell. I've been collecting them since 1983, if that gives you any indication of how old I am. But these NFT comics are going to be the future. And a lot of people don't realize, these CGC comics and these comics that are floating around that even aren't certified, these things are going to be dust eventually. They're not made on spectacular paper. So even buying ones that are restored now and that sort of thing are not going to be a bad bet in the future. But these NFT comics are going to be the future. And I really honestly feel strongly that those 6,000 original covers are going to be it because, I'm a true collector. I've been a collector my entire life. And, I've had a physical copy of that book and I certified it myself. And I don't like the cover of the SR, and I wouldn't like any of the other ones other than the common. And I got a UC on the drop, and I was very happy to get it. But I did go right almost immediately and buy a common. But these NFT comics are important because not only can you read them, and like the ones that are certified, you know exactly where they were, who owned them, and everything, unlike every other thing on the planet. Believe it or not, they do actually counterfeit physical books. They actually do crack open certified books that have been restored and sell them as unwrote certified books. And if you don't know any better, you'll get got. See, with the blockchain, you don't have that. And the AR feature on these is going to be incredible when they finally integrate that stuff. I'll be honest with you, we were pioneers and we're just heading down the road that everybody's going to anyway. We're just farther on ahead on it. And these NFT comics, people go, well, they're digital pictures. No, they're not digital, any of that. They have a utility that's built in the fact that you can read them, and you can read them in AR. I think that might be one of the best utilities I've ever heard of. You can't drag around a box of comics with you, but you can drag your phone around and read just about every damn thing as soon as they release it. So that's just my 2 cents on that. And I don't know how everybody else feels about it. But like I said, I know what I'm talking about as far as high-end comic books. And I know how I value them. And I know exactly how I value these too. And quite frankly, the AF-15, and I've got exactly 2 copies. And I'm working on it right now as far as the commons. They're probably a bargain below $1,500. That's just my 2 cents, not financial about it. But anyway, great to hear from all y'all and great to see all y'all and have the opportunity to speak.
Marine, I just want to say, and if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I know that's not like a sometimes an appropriate question, but I'm just curious.
No, it's not. I'm 53.
53. Okay, so really cool that I just love the fact that you're coming into this space and you're sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with us, because that's one of the coolest things about Veve is it has such a broad range of demographics, right? So we have young people, we have middle-aged people, we have older people, and to hear from you, not just, I don't know, I've been called a moon boy for different reasons, but I'm just really passionate about the digital world, right? But to hear from you that these digital NFT comic books are the future, it just gets me like so bullish and so hype, because it's not just from the moon boys. It's from people who actually have been in the comic book world for years and know what the future holds. And to hear that from you just gives us so much more credibility. So I really appreciate you coming in here and sharing that with us, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just let me expand on that for just a second.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize when you're collecting physical objects, just like I collected sideshow collectibles, if anybody's familiar with that, they're physical statues, and they can be quite large, of Marvel characters, DC characters, and that sort of thing. And they're great, they're realistic looking, but you have to drag them and mail them and ship them and all this other shenaniganizing that you have to do with physical objects. You have to dust them, you have to insure them, you have to make sure that they're not stolen, you know, that sort of thing. It sounds very stupid when it's not being thought of, but it can be quite a pain. And so, like me, I had $800,000 of comic books in my closet. So, so I actually had to worry about, could somebody get in my house? Now, that would have probably been an ill-advised stunt, but, it's not, but nobody knew that I had anything even remotely like that in there. One good thing about these too is that you can record them on a blockchain. So eventually, when there is a little bit more police, and perhaps if there's a thief that takes it, you can go exactly where to go get it. But you will certainly know who owned it and how much was paid for it and that sort of thing in the near future.
That's well said, man. I agree 100%. I think blockchain's the biggest technology is the internet. We're in a education phase, right? It's going to be that way for the next 10 years probably. But I also just mentioned him. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Sean.
Sorry, I just want to add on to that. I love everything that you said. I'm very excited for the future of both digital and physical. I'm going to be very, very clear about that. But the one thing I will say about digital that I love about it is that it encapsulates. I was have to say, it encapsulates their legacy. I think that's the most important thing for me. Is like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years from now, like these comics will live on because of the blockchain, and that's really special. That's really special.
That's absolutely true.
Okay, was that not enlightening? Yeah, I think he said it all right there. He said more than I can say. I've never collected physical comics really, and it's cool to hear from somebody who's been doing it all this time and who is aware of Veve and knows what's going on. So I just wanted to play that before we got into the amazing fantasy situation. So with all of that being said, let's get into this comic and see what the current situation is. There's currently 1,227 listed on the market. The common has 634 available for purchase with a floor of 580. So it's still holding fairly strong. I think it got as high as 850. So yeah, that was a crazy pump. I think that might have been a combination of hype and manipulation. There's always groups, scheming and plotting, in the background. So it's safe to say that it was probably some manipulation mixed with hype. The reason it got so high so quick. So let's go to the uncommon with 283 in the marketplace. It's dipped down to around 380 gems. It's seen a high of 500. During the week. Let's go to the rare with 153 available for purchase. It's holding fairly strong at 640 gems. This one's seen a high of like 926, I believe. So it's down a little bit. Still holding fairly strong, if you ask me. It's not too many. It's not too many until the 900 range again. So we will see if it has more room to dip. Let's go to the ultra rare with 88 editions left or available for purchase. So it's dipped from like 3.5k to 2.1k. Looks like people are trying to sell off here, but once again, there's not too many comics until that 3k mark again, right? So we'll see how much room this one also has to dip. And then let's look at the secret rare with 67 editions left in the marketplace. It's got a floor of 18.5k. So this one's holding pretty strong, of course. It's the secret rare with only 250 editions. So yeah, that's the current situation with this amazing fantasy comic. So my current situation, I still hold all 9 of my comics that I purchased throughout the week. I think most people knew that there was a retracement coming. Me personally, I did not sell any off. I was a little bit scared too, I'll be honest. I thought the pump was legit. I thought it had a reason to be this price, or I thought it had a reason to be so high because, first of all, it's an amazing fantasy comic. Like, you'll be hard pressed to think of another comic that's going to come on the app to top this one. So with that being said, that is why I held on, because I could have seen it going up higher actually. This was a test. This was an experiment for me. I wanted to see what this comic would do. And as you've seen, not even Amazing Fantasy 15 is safe from the market, the Veve market rather, right? You got your hype phase, you got your FOMO phase, and then you got the dump when people take profit. And then it's going to bounce back at some point because people are now accumulating at these prices. People were just waiting for this dip. They knew it was coming. Veterans knew this dip was coming. 580, that's much more stomachable than 800, right? Way less risky. Now the question is, how much more could it come down? Could it touch 490? Could it touch 450? I highly doubt it'll touch 300s again. Not even 380, right? I highly doubt it'll touch the 300 range, but I could see it touching 450 with a couple of hot drops. I know people were talking about Dragon Ball Z. I think that was debunked, but at any rate, this is a top tier comic in my opinion. It's a holy grail of grails, and as you've heard my man's just say, he thinks anything under 1500 for the common is a steal, and that's similar to what I was thinking. That's why I didn't sell anything, because I could have seen it going up more. But yeah, I missed out on a little bit of profit. I could have sold at the top if people were still buying near that range. I could have sold a few just to de-risk, but I didn't, and I'm happy with holding mine. I will hold. This is a long-term hold for me. I do think this is like one of the top 5 best items on the app currently, so I'm happy to have a solid holdings in this, and we will continue to watch this comic as the weeks and months go by. Yeah, this will be a good learning experience. We will see if anything can make this comic tank, and we will also see if it bounces back and how quickly and by how much and all that jazz. So with that being said, let us move on. And that's the video, my friends. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you learned something or enjoyed the content, feel free to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing for more Veve content like this. So, yes, Amazing Fantasy 15 is currently retracing. I wouldn't say it's dumping hard. It is just a healthy retracement, and I think it may be the time to accumulate, or it could be the time to wait. We never really know. That's why you gotta do your research and make the best move that's best for you. And that snippet of audio from the beginning was from Twitter. You can catch it on Comics and Crypto's channel, or Anyway, yeah, there's about a two hour session, and if you go to the Twitter page, I'm sure you can find it. So with that being said, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say ever is financial advice because I am learning just like you guys. I am just your friendly neighborhood genius. Ha ha ha. Sharing his thoughts and opinions on this awesome app known as Veve. So take everything that you hear from me with a grain of salt because things could change. And with that, if you would like to follow me on the Veve app, I have listed my bubbles for 8.8 million gems. So if you find her, you can add me and I may add you back. And with that being said, thank you once again for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Until then, peace out and huddle strong, and remember to be like water. Stay liquid. Later.